All right, home service pros, welcome to the Battle Plan Marketing Podcast, episode number 171. Today, we are continuing our book series with the author and operator Kim Hopkins, somewhere in there, Million Dollar Contracting. Welcome back to the show, Kim.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Appreciate you coming back on. We are into chapter 11. Whoops, sorry for the noise there. Collecting money from slow paying general contractors and management company, referral partners and general contractors, and then some collection rules and tips to go along with it. Maybe, actually, if you don't mind, can we start with collecting just from, mom and dad's homeowner first before we get into the bigger guys?
Sure.
Um, some tips there to, like, maybe bill in the field, or what are your suggestions there?
Hmm. So you mean if you go do a service call for a small amount of money and you're supposed to collect some money and you don't, or you're even crazier and you bill for small jobs after you've been to the job, which is the first mistake you would be making.
That's
Uh,
exactly where I wanted to go, 'cause so many guys don't have software or whatever, the ability to build in the field, and so, I'm sure they're feeling that pain, so you can walk them through that process better than I can.
well, um, I'm an expert at losing money for sure.
I'm right there with you.
My past, I took not getting paid to an art form.
Yeah.
I had better statistics than anyone I know. It almost drove me out of business for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
And I will start by saying, I don't know if you're supposed to talk about how much money you make or gross or something like that, but
Why not? Why not? If
just
you
say,
don't care, we don't
right.
care.
Well, okay, let's just talk about a $5 million gross income theoretically for the company. Okay.
Okay. That's
Okay.
where a
And
lot of
then
guys are.
around that, let's just say, so then every business has, expectation of some losses. Like, so you're not going to collect everything.
Right,
I mean, it just doesn't happen,
right.
except for the last 3 years or 4 years, our collections is zero, like nothing, like millions of dollars of gross income. Not one penny hasn't been collected. I'm only saying that it's not a brag because it's nothing to brag about. To make it clear that it's a doable thing.
Right. A
Sort of like,
transition. How did you get there?
yeah, yeah, from, nearly going bankrupt, for sure, losing, $80,000 at a time from contractors to just small jobs and whatnot. So
Mhm.
my point is, people say, "What do you mean go through a red light?" I never go through red lights. That's right, you don't. You don't, generally, unless something really went weird, you leave the house with your zippers up, like, it's a pretty common. There's certain p behavior patterns that you do that have been successful. Like, in fact, like, there are people that don't do those things, but generally speaking, they're not running red lights is a lot more common than not collecting money from customers, like, that people. So, I wanna make it clear that what I have to say is based on a lot of experience of being very bad at collecting money, very bad, and then turning around and being very good. And the reason is I learned how. I had to learn how, or I wouldn't be in business. And
Right, right.
for sure, my experience is the best teachers are the people that were bad at something and became good at it,
Definitely.
because they learned how to be good at it. Some guy that was always be good at it, like, they don't learn how, they already naturally did it. So it's hard for them to teach the same thing. They can tell you what they do, but somehow it's not the same. I'm
Right.
coming from a position of ignorance, stupidity, lack of responsibility. That was me. I was a nice guy. I was a trusting guy.
Right, right.
Now I'm a fair guy and I'm a decent guy, but believe me, when it comes to collecting money, I'm not a nice guy if I need to collect money. They owe it. I mean, okay. So coming from that point of view, Yeah, I think, Mark, your idea is it's hard to collect from mom and pops or people that are at home. And that has never been it's the only people I never really had a problem with because
Oh, good.
I'd be doing work for them and I'd be chatting them up and we'd be talking and some housewife somewhere and I'd finish the job and they'd pay me, Now, eventually that became an issue when I started hiring guys who then went out and I never met that homemaker
Right.
and my guy wouldn't collect the money for like $100 or whatever. And then now we're trying to collect for weeks and months later and spend $500 in office staff trying to collect $100. That did come up later after I started having employees, but
Right.
uh, you know, um, okay. So if you want my ideas of the key factors on how to get paid when you do work, I can with mom and pop. That's what you asked for. So number
Yeah.
one, before you start the job, you have a signed contract. Doesn't matter if it's a service call. Like you can just say, look, I just need permission to be here. It's like
Yep.
it's a
Yep.
legal thing. Sign this. And the signature says it's, $100 an hour to do time and material work, or we're gonna, replace three light switches for $150, or whatever it
Exactly.
is. Your toilet's running. Like you tell people in advance, okay, your toilet's running, and I've looked at it. That was your $89 evaluation or some, whatever you're charging, and then okay, it's 150. We have to replace these two parts, and then your toilet won't be running anymore. Sign here if you want us to do it. And they say, well, that's a lot of money. Say, yeah, well, that's a lot of toilet over there you got. No, you say whatever you have to say, but like they either want to do it or they don't. And if they don't want to do it, they owe $89. The office made that agreement with them before they left. So
Right.
you always demand that people keep their agreements, and you always have agreements for them to keep. So everything's in writing every time. That's just no one's going to say no, like their toilet's running. They just want to get it fixed. So, you know, do that. So
Yep.
now that's number one. Always, always get it in writing every time. Or if you just want to give it away, you don't need to put it in writing. You just say, oh, you know what? No big deal. I can just take care of this. Don't worry about it.
There you go.
If you want a charity, it's like, don't lend your relatives money. If you want to give them money, fine, but don't lend money to relatives
Right.
because you're going to be sorry most of the time. Just to go on a crazy tangent like I always do, think about this. Like somebody wants to borrow money. How come? Like what? What
Right.
happened if they needed to borrow the money in the first place?
Right.
Okay, so you're already like, hey, I'm not a very good money manager, so can you give me some money and I'm your relative? Like I couldn't pay those guys back, so can I
Right.
borrow money from you now? Like the bank won't give it to me. Oh yeah, that's because they know who to lend to.
Exactly. And it's a little shell game going on. Yes.
Yeah, like on the other hand, if you say, look, forget about it. Like, you need $500 here. Here you go. Like, don't pay me back. You
Right.
pay it forward like they ever will. But they could someday, they may, but in the meantime, you don't have hard feelings. And so that's my little advice to people lending money to relatives. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So if you're
Although
not
it's,
building in the field, you're as good as giving it away, kind of, sort of.
yeah, you have the opportunity to lose that money if you don't have it in writing. And that opportunity is at least 1000%, which doing the math is 10 times more likely.
Right.
It's highly unlikely if you get something in writing that you're not going to collect.
Right.
And I can tell you why in a bit, but in order, so you get it in writing. And then the second thing you have to do is a really good job. You actually have to deliver on whatever the contract says. You fix a running toilet, that doesn't mean that it just runs a little bit now, or the air conditioning is the air is kind of cool,
It's a smaller problem now. Yeah.
right. No, like you have to do essentially, there's no such thing as perfection except in math, two
Right.
plus two really equals four, but in real life, two plus two might equal 3.999. But it's never perfect in the physical universe. You can go for excellence though,
Right.
and you can have and from the people's viewpoint, the toilet stopped running. That's an excellent job. So
Right.
then there's no reason for them not to pay you. Okay. The third thing you do is you do it on the spot. You don't want to collect small amounts of money, send it to your office and get them to pay it. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't the person pay you right then? What?
Right.
Oh, I'm my paycheck won't be deposited till next week.
Trouble.
Yeah. So on relatively small jobs, there's absolutely no reason not to pay right away and get paid. So that's the third thing, you know. So written contract, excellent work, get paid right away. Okay. Now, I'm not kidding when I say I mean, I'm kind of surprised that our company doesn't have any collection issues, but there are times when someone doesn't pay. They'll take, I've got a 30-man company. So you get these people that say, "Oh yeah, I know your boss and he's cool, but he always just bills me." Now, a new electrician, let's say in my company, may not know better, and they'll say, "Oh, okay, okay," and then they go away, and so much for that $212
Mm,
invoice, and so then gets to my office, and I have 2 accountant type people in my office, and then they start the thing. Okay, so now we get to the fun part. Okay, so now that person that said that deliberately said that, like, they're trying to find a way to not
delay or
pay
not
or
pay.
delay, or I mean,
Right.
maybe they really do think they really wanted that decorative recessed light fixture, and they really needed it right now, but they really don't have the money right now, but that's okay. They'll have the money real soon, and then they'll go 30 days. Yeah, I can pay in 30 days, even though that's not what the contract said. Said,
Right.
okay, so, but they don't pay in 30 days because there was this other really pretty, you know, something that they had to get instead. There are people like that. They just have to buy stuff and they're right on the edge of what
Yeah.
they can afford.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now it's time to try to collect the money. That's a whole nother game. But I'll just say you go, and we can maybe get into that process with a different question you're asking. But the fourth thing here is you have now something in writing and it is signed. You have proof that it's done because, oh, yeah, at the end of the job, you get them to sign something saying they're satisfied with the work that they did and they know it works.
Right.
Okay, so maybe that's the fourth thing. Do that.
Good point.
Okay.
Good point. Yeah. 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 Job finished. Take some photos.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure that, or else they, like a crazy in the past. I'm talking about my past now. You'd have customers that would literally say, "You didn't do it," or "It
Right.
looks really bad," or blah blah blah, and then you pull out pictures. Now, 10 years ago, maybe there was excuses like pictures. I don't get it, but
Right.
for the last 5 years at least, like,
Yeah.
come on, like an iPhone, click.
Right. Yeah.
So every job we ever do, I'm actually impressed that some customers are surprised that we take photos when we send them the proof that they paid. We also show them all the
Oh,
pictures. But
that's
anyway, so it's time to collect the money. You have proof that we did the work, proof that they promised to pay. Okay. So you have, like in California, I'm only talking as a California electrician, but I'm
right.
suspecting that many states, if not all of them, are like this, and maybe even provinces in Canada. I don't really know. But what we do here, it's not legal advice. I'm just telling you what we do is we
Right.
then call them and say, listen, you have, you know, 10 days to pay or whatever it is it's going to be after we've made 3 attempts to collect money and many times after promises by them that they'll pay by then. Then we say, okay, we're just going to have to lien your property. We're going to lien your property. And they don't like that. But every now and then, again, this hasn't happened literally to me. That's as far as it ever gets. If it got that far, and it hasn't even gotten that far in 3 years at least. But
Right.
in the past, I'm talking about the past, like called 10 years ago, there'd be people that would say, well, go ahead. I don't care. I'm never going to sell the house anyway, or whatever they think. Okay. But you know what? With people like that are either going to get divorced or they're going to get sick in some dramatic way, or they're just going to die. And trust me, that's what's going to happen. Like within usually 3 years,
You get paid.
one of those is happening, and that house is going for sale. Then the escrow company, you get this, frantic call from the escrow company. Well, and everything's all done, but we suddenly realize there's this lien on this house. Like,
Right.
can you just pay it off? Can you just like forgive that? No. Okay, well, can we just pay half? No. Well, okay, here's the check. Hey, don't forget the freaking interest. Oh,
Right.
look at the contract. It's like 15% a year. Let me do
Right.
the calculation. Why that's that makes it a double because it's
Yeah.
been 5 years or whatever.
Right.
Again, hasn't happened in a long time, but that could happen.
Yeah.
I'm that guy that had so many things happen to me that I have absolutely no restraint,
Yeah.
on defending myself at this point. I'm just this is the part where I'm not such a nice guy anymore.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm
Well,
mean. We were really nice when we came out right away and fixed a problem like that.
exactly.
But no, so bottom line is you have to do that. And then I never enforce it in court. I never won in court. I mean, I must have gone 10 times in the early stupid days and realized that you go to small claims court, doesn't work. At the absolute best, you'll get, well, you might get the full. I don't know if I ever got 100% of what I asked for. Most
Really?
of the time, the judge would compromise and say, well, yeah, it looks all pretty good, but like, let's go 50-50, and
Jeez.
okay, but you know what? They'll never pay that 50%.
They won't.
No,
Nope.
they don't. They didn't pay before, and they're not going to pay now. So then what would I do? I would lien them. And that's when I learned I'm going to lien them anyway. So just lien them for 100% plus interest. And there's no judge that said it can't be that amount of money because that's what
Yeah.
the contract says. Anyway, so uh, I have collected, I don't know, maybe 5 times in 45 years doing that, but like less and less as, maybe not for the last 10 years at least. I haven't had to ever do that, but it's very satisfying when you get back $2,000 plus interest and maybe that made it 2,800 by the time that happens. And
Right.
it's so satisfying to get those guys in the end that tried to stiff you. But you see, the houses are worth like $1,000,000. Like,
Right.
just want to sell
Exactly,
the damn
man.
thing. Right.
Exactly. 30-year-old fixer-upper.
Yeah, and
So
then and as an aside, or not really, you can go. I've had an air conditioning contracting company that we used to do all the panel upgrades for. It was a huge company. I won't mention the name, but they're no longer in business, but they were for like 100 and something years in business, and then, like, the grandson took over or something,
Mhm.
and he was into cocaine, and he stopped
Oh,
paying the
man.
bills, but we were doing, like, 1 job a day for them, so, like, they'd be into us for like 30 or 40,000 at any one time. They'd pay on a 30-day basis. No big deal. Okay, that's business. That makes sense. And then they stop paying. So what you can do with a general contractor or a management company, if it comes to that, or just some vendor that has a lot of customers, is you can say, okay, listen, I understand you're not paying. So what we're going to have to do is try to go to the owner, the people that originally paid you and stuff, and it's just become a legal matter. I'm just gonna have to
Mhm.
contact the 9 customers that you're not paying me for, and if you do it fast enough, you gotta do it fast with general contractors or management companies, or I don't know, other, like an giant air conditioning company. You gotta do it as fast as you realize you never wanna do business with them anyway again because they don't pay you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, you have nothing to lose at that point. You really put on the screws, and they don't wanna lose their reputation yet. There'll come a point where they're so in bad shape that they can't
They don't
they
care.
know it's not gonna work anyway. But if you catch them in this magic moment before they don't wanna lose their reputation, they'll pay you before all the other people that they are stiffing, and they are,
Mm.
so you gotta hit them first.
Man.
So
Do you threaten them that you'll be contacting the clients first, or do
yes,
you s
absolutely. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly that's what we would do, is send a letter saying, "Okay, like, if we're not paid by this date, we're just gonna have to go to this client, and this client, and this client, and this client," and
Right.
explain to them that you haven't paid. Now, a whole 'nother level is when you're doing work for a general contractor, you really, really, like in California, and I'm sure there's things like it in other states, you have, like, preliminary 20-day notices that you send out, and
I
in the
see.
beginning, I would have experiences where, let's say, the plumber or the air conditioning guy or the roofer, they would have put in the preliminary notice, 20-day notice, and I didn't. Okay, and guess who didn't get paid at the end?
Oh.
I didn't get paid, because there was no legal reason they had to pay me. Okay, now I
Is that a form, of some sort, or, what is
yeah,
that?
I gotta think other states have it too, besides California, but Like, let's say you're doing work for a general contractor. The logic of it is this. Okay, so let's say it's a $50,000 job of whatever trade for a general contractor. So you sign a contract with a general contractor. You never even met the owners yet. Maybe you never will meet the owners. It just
Right.
depends on the situation. But if you send in California, you send a preliminary notice. And we have a little thing that we used to put say, don't worry, we're not asking for money. This is just something that legally we're responsible and need to do, which is, well, yeah, we need to do it if we want to collect the money. There's no law that says you have to send out a preliminary notice. But if you do,
Nice.
then that customer, the theory is now the homeowner knows that they need to pay the general contractor who pays you. But if they do pay the general contractor and the general contractor does not pay you, the vendor, you know what? The vendor can collect from the homeowner a second time
Yeah.
and put a lien on that house.
Yep.
Okay. So that's why you have to tell them, look, I'm XYZ
I see.
framing company, and we're doing a job and it's a $50,000 job. Before you pay the general contractor, it's a really good idea to make sure that we've been paid. And I've even gotten I got good at this, like, I don't know, 30 years ago. Well, no, 25 years ago. The first 20 years, a miserable experience. I got better, but after that, I'm pretty good. But
Learning. Yeah.
one, you get very resourceful. And one of the things I would do is I would call the homeowner directly and I'd say, listen, we're not getting paid. And we don't want this to happen to you. Like, we don't
Right.
want to have to collect from you. So do you still owe money? Yes. Okay. Well, stop paying the general contractor. Now, here's what you do. You have a double signatory check. You pay the general contractor with a check, with your name, but also to my company. Okay. Whatever it is, XYZ
Right.
Tracy. Okay. The general contractor signs it, and then it's useless to them. It's a piece of paper. It has to come to the vendor, who then signs it and deposited that in the bank. And that
Nice.
was quite successful, very successful. It's a nice little
Nice.
trick to do.
So hold on, Kim. So they're making out the check to, ABC contractor plus, ABC electrical company.
Right,
Both companies on the pay to line.
right.
So now both have to endorse it, and, I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
I know, as so many people are such innocent babes, that I am not an innocent babe anymore. Most people don't know these. Like, you didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that at all. No.
Yeah. Well, it's I've hundreds of thousands of dollars later, I
Beautiful.
know about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Probably good to come out the gate that way. Just
well, no, if you work with a general contractor that you trust, and their statistics are good and they always pay you, there's no reason to. But
okay.
if they're a day late, one freaking day, like, you think to yourself, uh-oh, okay, let's call that a yellow flag. And then you
Right.
call them up and they go, oh yeah, we're getting there. Okay, that turns it into an orange flag or something. And then the next week it's a red flag. And when it
Right.
hits the red flag level, it's time to realize, before they're paid in full and spend their money on that new truck or whatever they're going to do, you need to get them to pay you. And if they're reluctant to pay you, it's time to go to the homeowner, because you never want to work for that general contractor again anyway. See,
Right.
that's the thing.
Right.
All you poor little subcontractors out there, you're
Yeah.
thinking, oh, I don't want to get them mad at me. Oh, no, I don't want to why not? Well,
Right.
hopefully, if you're lucky, they'll never talk to you again, because
Right.
I understand it's because there's a paucity of, that's my vocabulary word for the day. There's as
Give
a
me that
veteran,
word again. What is
yeah,
it?
the paucity, it's a lack of something, and there's a paucity of work for you,
I
and
see.
so then you're trying to bend over backwards to
Right.
keep the work coming in that you already have, right?
Right.
But, like, if you're miserable working for the people that you have now, it's time to find other ways to promote,
Yep.
for sure. You know, don't,
Crazy.
beggars can't be choosers. Don't be a beggar.
Don't be a beggar.
But that's a whole other chapter of promotion. But maybe we've already done that chapter. I don't know. But point is,
Doesn't feel like it. No.
yeah. Anyway, so that you really need to really pay attention to these collection issues.
Mhm.
And no one in my company, not a single one, has the knowledge or the background history of misery and pain and agony that I've
Right.
had. So they don't know, and they just don't like, oh, well, I'm sure he'll pay next week. So what you have to do when you have enough people working for you is you have to have policies in
Right.
that are black and white. When this happens, it's time to do that. When that happens, it's time to do this. And you can get people, this is a little management trick. You can get people less skilled than you to do as good a job if they can follow instructions and you
Sure.
give them good enough instructions.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
that's not optimum, but sometimes it's necessary. And I found that in the area of collections, especially, most people are weak in this area and they're just too nice about it. Like, you want to hire nice people to be your employees. You
Right.
want them to trust you, and you want to trust them, and they're basically honest, or you wouldn't hire them,
Right.
hopefully. So it's out of their wheelhouse
Comfort.
skill level
Yeah.
to like think that other people aren't like them. But
Right.
after 10 or 15 years, I get most of my staff now are been with me a very long time. It's no attrition. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
conversation.
Take
Why
care of
that,
your people. Exactly.
but they get
Exactly.
experience and they really get it. And especially when I would tell them, okay, this is going to happen next, and this is going to happen next, and then we're going to do that. Then we'll collect. It'll be at this point that and I've gotten on the maestro of knowing when, a lot about getting paid, so then after a while, they start respecting my judgment because it
Right.
always turns out to be that way.
Right.
So then they can learn, but it can take 10 or 15 years for somebody to really get it. There are
Mm.
people out there that just are trying not to pay.
Yeah. Well, it's not hitting their wallet or pocketbook, right? So they're not feeling the pain as much as you, the business owner. So yeah, it takes a little while to get the employees on board.
Yeah,
Kim,
yeah, yeah, there's this experience and
right,
personality. Most
right,
people hate to collect money. They just hate
right.
people. Oh, yeah, by the way, there is a zero thing for the Peggy, the homeowner. The 0 point is the office qualifies them before they even send out the tradesperson. Like,
Well, good point.
when someone calls into my company and they say, "How much you charge?" Like, that's not a good sign.
Right,
All my promotion is based on, none of it is, "Call us
right,
last because 'cause we're gonna be the cheapest price."
right,
We don't have promotion like that. They can ask how much something costs, and hopefully they're asking by your answer, are you honest and competent, and can you meet their scheduling requirements? And based on those things, is whatever you're going to say a good value? But if you get someone that's like, they don't care when you come out and they don't care how good a job you do, as long as like it's cheaper than anybody else,
right.
you don't want that homeowner. You don't want them at all. If they start arguing with you about how much it costs, say, you're right, we're too expensive. Um,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think you should check out, find some other tradespeople. Yeah,
yeah. Agreed. Move on.
yeah.
What do you have like back end processes, automations in the back end? Like if something hits overdue. So now we're talking like contractors, bigger jobs where you have net 30 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, of course. Like, it seems that a lot of the people that I've seen related to you, Mark, they're into Service Titan. Now, maybe that's just because a lot of people are into Service Titan. I don't really know, but I do know that that's the program we're using now.
Right?
We had earlier ones before, but it, when you have a robust enough admin and
Yes.
dispatch system, it's going to say this has come due. This,
Right, right.
and we use it for promotion too. Like, we'll say, well, follow up in 2 weeks, and we put it on a little graph, and then
I
two
see.
weeks, 2 weeks later, it pops up. There it is. Call that
Right.
person.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So build out some automation systems on the back end if you're, for those listening, to make you aware that you know, that's come up and it's overdue, right?
like if you're a handyman and you're going in the neighborhood and like once a week you do a job for one of the people, and you're probably going to collect anyway. But if the guy says, "Listen, I'm a little short, but how about, can you come by next Tuesday? We'll have a beer and I'll pay you." That's one level. Okay. What's another when you have a lot of electricians or plumbers or framers and they're out there every day? Like,
Yeah.
we're doing
Yeah.
a minimum of 5,000 jobs a year.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to keep that in my mind. Like, which ones what am I supposed to do next with this one?
Right.
No, like you need an admin system that tells you what you're supposed to do next with every single one. And the way you do that is, yeah, you have systems that like dominoes. Well, this happened. Now it's time for that. And that
Right.
happens. Now it's
Exactly.
time for that. Like every job is set up in the whatever type of job it is. There's a flow chart to make it all happen.
Yeah. 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 Figure it out. I'm amazed at how many operators don't use software out there. So, Job or House Call Pro, Service Titan is something you gravitate to later on as you grow. Awesome system. In fact, I interviewed Tom Howard last week he's a VP of Service Titan, also an operator, owns eight.
Yeah, I listened to that, Mark. I was a little surprised. He's connected to Service Titan, but he acted like he was buying and selling companies. They didn't
He
follow
is.
the
Yeah,
line.
he flips HVAC companies. He's really close to Tommy Mello and that group over there,
Mhm.
A1 Garage Door, and so yeah, he flips HVAC companies. He's pretty much doubled, I would say, in the last. He went from 8 figures to 9 figures now in the last like 1 year, I would say.
So what's he doing at Service Titan then? I don't get
I'm
it.
gonna guess I should have asked him. I'm gonna guess he's a investor there also, and him and Tommy Mello really helped Service Titan mold their software there, and create, identify what the needs were and that kind of stuff. So he's VP of Customer Success, I think it is over there, and yeah, I should have drilled more on that relationship there, but.
Okay,
He got into some of the things that Service Titan can do on the back end for
yeah,
dispatching,
yeah.
and man, it blew my mind. So, if you got a nice team, most guys are already on that software, I think, once you get to a big enough size.
Yeah, you gotta have some income to afford it.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't make it affordable until you've crossed at least 1,000,000 a year, I would
Oh,
say.
yeah.
At
I would
least,
say, yeah, probably even a little bit more than that, but also, you probably need to hire a consultant. There's a couple of people out there, that'll help teach you and your team to use that software because it's not the simplest
Oh, man,
software.
I don't even know how to I swear I don't know how to use it at all, but fortunately, I've got an IT guy and I've got
Right.
another rule, and people joke about it, hire people smarter than you. It's not a joke for
Exactly.
me. It's real. Hire
Yeah.
people that are trained in the areas you're not, and they're smarter than you. That's a big if they're honest, it's a big bonus. And by the way, yeah, I listened to that, last week. Who was it?
Tom Howard. Yep.
Tom Howard, yeah. So, thing is, if guys whoever's listening to this podcast or watching it, whatever, you look at you listen to that whole thing, I do this, so I do that, and this is what happened. Well, okay, now there's me. Okay. Now I'm flat out telling you, I'm not Tom. I'm never gonna be Tom. I'm not
Right.
smart enough, I'm not ambitious enough, I'm not anything enough. Like and if I sound like I'm super smart and I've got it all together and I'm this amazing guy, trust me, only persistence. It's not IQ and it's not uh inclination, it was self-defense. Like, I know all this stuff. I'm rattling off all this stuff that is true and is really, really good advice, but it's advice from an average Joe that just didn't want to lose money anymore and
Yep.
he needed to feed his family.
Yeah.
Like and for a lot of my career, I made no money or I barely made it. I mean, just most of my career.
Yep.
So it's only the last, let's say, decade, the last 10 years out of 45 that I really got it. It took me that long
Yep.
because I'm not smart. Well, I'm a little smart, but I'm not like a genius. I'm not like Tom. Like, go listen to Tom if you want to make, tens of
$100
millions of
million.
dollars.
Yeah.
Listen to me if you want to have a decent income, and if you can devote about 15 years to it, you'll be a millionaire.
Exactly.
But like a millionaire because of your investments, not because you're so savvy in business.
Right.
You know.
Right. Focus, stay dedicated, figure it out one day at a time, and it does take a long ass time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
Tom,
called it's like the average putts weighed a million.
excuse
That
me.
might have been a better title for my book.
What
The
would have been?
the average putts makes how to make, you know, what are the average putts way to $1 million.
There you go. I like it. I like it. What is that, Computer for Dummies or whatever those books
Yeah,
are?
like,
Yeah, something
I
like that.
actually thought, like, again, my time is valuable to me now, and I'm a lazy, lazy man. So, like, I'm not Tom. He's not lazy. Tom is not lazy. Like, I could probably go to, you know, contracting for dummies and work out some deal with them and stuff, but I don't know what,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just something like I'm kind of giving away my book in a sense,
yeah.
if
You've
you're
done
on
it already.
what's it called?
Contracting for Dummies right here
Yeah, I mean, I'm selling it for the cheapest Amazon will let me, or it's even free on,
on your, yeah.
what's it called? Amazon, what I forgot what it's called, that people can go if they subscribe to it, they get
Oh, the Prime, you mean, or,
no,
oh,
no,
Audible? Audible?
no, not even Audible. No, it's,
You got me.
oh, well, it's the thing that it's on Am like, there's paperback and there's, uh,
Oh,
electronic.
the electronic one. Jeez.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't remember what the
I
hell they
forgot what
call
it's
that.
called.
I hate Amazon
See, I'm
anyways.
telling you, see, I'm a stupid guy. I don't really know. I can't remember. But anyway,
Between the 2 of us, we can't figure it out. So
you can get it for free. It can just be a free book for you.
Kindle, is that what they call it? Kindle.
Oh,
Amazon
that's what it is.
Kindle?
It's Kindle Unlimited.
Kindle Unlimited.
Right.
Yeah,
So if you're a member of that, and I don't know what it costs a month, it's not very much,
I
then
don't
you
know.
can get tons of books. And a lot of authors will put a book up there for free just to introduce you to them. But anyway, I put my book up there just because now you can have it
Oh,
for free.
so you can download it for free on Kindle.
Yes. Well, Kindle
Good price?
Unlimited, or you could buy it on Kindle for X amount of
I
whatever
see,
Amazon says the cheapest is you can buy it for.
I see.
See, because it's not, I want other people to know about it, this information, and I could care less about whatever small. You don't make very much money as an author unless you are
No,
super bestseller and sell millions of copies.
yeah.
So,
Or you're Alex Hormozy and you do $100 million launch campaign 3 books later. I don't know if you saw that, but he did
no,
$100 million in 2 days.
really?
Yeah, he sold, whatever the hell that is, 3 million books in 2 days. He broke the Guinness Book of World Record in day 1, like a
Wow,
million and a half books. Yeah, great.
that's impressive. I'm like 1.5 books a day.
Yeah. Well, that was his plan. Like he went through it. So he planned it out. I'm gonna book 1, book 2, book 3 is gonna be $100 million launch.
Uh,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
like Game of
but he
Thrones.
works in that Tommy Mello and Tom Howard world. So you're right. Now, those are for a different class of people who wanna conquer the world, and they got that mojo, and hats off to him, man. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know.
much respect. I have
Yeah.
there's nothing to denigrate them in any
Oh,
way.
god, no.
It's just that's not me.
Right. Yeah,
It's
it's not me either, but, yeah, hats off to those guys kick ass, and they're teaching, I forgot how many millionaires work for Tommy Mello already now,
mhm.
that grew with his business, and Tom's right there too, empowering people. His whole thing was about empowering, people. Stop
Oh, and
cloning yourself.
I loved his philosophy.
Yeah,
He's just smarter than me and better at it, and he has a bigger game to play,
yeah, yeah.
um,
And
and
he went and got his MBA, sound like, and he's got people in his company getting their MBAs and stuff,
oh, yeah,
working on it.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, working on a different plane. Sorry, didn't mean to go down that path. So take me back to that moment there, Kim, where you're saying, so initially when you hire your first few people and are out in the field and now and now they're not consistently billing. Do you have software at that point now so they can bill in the field?
Oh,
Or
absolutely, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's Service Titan, but we had it before that on, whatever the last one was before
Right.
Service
HubSpot
Titan.
Pro or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like, we're about 2 years into Service Titan and happy to be there. It's a
Yeah.
very expensive, way
Very.
more expensive than a one-man operation would ever even consider, and
Oh
you
yeah.
wouldn't wanna use it then for it's too you'd spend all your time like, we need I don't know how many hours it takes a week to manage Service Titan, but
Right.
it's worth it when you in volume of gross sales and the number I got, like, 8 people in the office, so I can
Right.
afford that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, that would destroy a 5-person or less company.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You better have at least almost like a full-time employee that is gonna spend 6 months figuring out Service
Yeah,
Titan to
yeah,
implement it. Then you gotta train
right.
all the technicians in the field. It's not easy, man.
No, no,
It
yeah,
when you're done, it's worth it, but
it is. Yeah,
but
it's
you
a
better have
great
a lot of backup finances to, afford that time period when you're paying people to learn.
yeah,
Okay, so the people in the field, every journeyman that I have is working on a bonus system. They get paid minimum wage. This is
nice.
California. You gotta pay by the hour. Thank
Right,
you,
right.
California. So we do. We pay them minimum wage. Then they get a bonus, but their bonus is 3 or 4 times again whatever their minimum wage was, and so, I mean, these guys are buying houses in California.
Right.
Several I don't even know how many millionaires, land-rich millionaires there are in my company at this point, but plenty,
Nice, nice.
plenty, and that's because they're motivated, so they want to get paid. They know that if they just have to follow the rules, and if they've been around, a lot of my technicians, virtually all of them are 5 years or longer. Some are 20 years, 30
Nice.
years, so they you learn after a while, and it's kinda hard with software that says, "Did you collect the money?" There are times when they don't. Like, there's reasons why. "Well, I looked around and the housewife was gone. We were there all alone all of a
He's
sudden."
not right, right,
I guess she went to pick up the kids. I don't know.
right.
You don't wanna stick around, we gotta go, so it
Yep.
does happen. But we collect from those people, so it
Nice.
works out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But,
So you
like,
get
yeah, they're trained to absolutely, as long as someone doesn't disappear on them, they're gonna get a signature and get paid. Because, look, check, credit card, what else you got? Like, we'll take it,
right,
cash,
right,
you know,
right. Break out the
all doors are open for collecting income.
we
Yes.
take all forms of money. Yes. Do you, do your techs try to get a, review out in the field there also, or take photos and upload to Google or any kinda ancillary jobs while they're there?
Um Yeah, there are things you can do, like we put stickers on all the electrical panels,
I
if
like
you're
it.
an electrician. Your plumber, put it on the water heater,
Right.
if you're a roofer, you're out of luck. No, you can probably get some kind of refrigerator magnet or something, with
Yeah.
it has to be helpful information. Like on our thing, on our little tab, it says, how to reset a circuit breaker.
Oh, nice.
And then it's just flip it off and flip it on. There you go.
It
There's
really is
bottom
that simple.
the number, and now you can for more service, call this number. So that it
I
but,
like
like,
it.
5,000 times, 10 years, 20 years, it's a lot of stickers out there.
I like it. Do you have, like well, of course, your phone number's on there. Any chance there's, like, a QR code that goes to your
Well,
website
that
or something
that
like that?
could be coming. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it lately that maybe that's another thing to do. Because
yeah,
QR, it'll just go to, a web page of some kind,
yeah, wherever.
or they could click on a phone number, so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you can actually, program QR codes today to do almost anything you can imagine. More than just going to a website. Can make calls, blah, 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 all kinds of things.
Yeah. I guess
In fact,
my
one
my
of the things
problem has been that, and this is not a great excuse, but I could do more if I had the pressure to have to get more business.
right,
My
right,
problem is
you're happy.
I can't find enough employees that we wanna hire to do the work that we have. It's
Right.
been a very, very long time since any of my employees don't have a full-time gig.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So
You don't need that, business, but,
I mean, I wish I just wish I had more. It is my big stopping point is hiring people. Like, it's getting a little better, like, it takes a couple years to get, the right kind of apprentice to become
yeah,
somebody that can actually do some technical work.
yep, yep.
So,
Do you give, any kind of incentive to the existing employees to find you employees or, bring in their best friends or whatever?
yeah, we've tried that in the past.
Did it work or no?
No.
I see.
You'd think it would, except they can't find anybody either. Like, it's easy to find helpers, and so we can get helpers that way, but
I see.
a journeyman that wants to find a helper, he wants to use that helper. So he already has
Yeah,
an incentive to get that helper in a sense, if
right,
it's his or relative or something like that.
right.
Mostly we've tried that and we didn't have it. And we had one experience where we bought one guy from one of these employment procurement companies that call it me or our company like once a week or something like,
Right.
oh yeah, we got all these electricians saying, well, they're ready to go, all this, and just pay us like, I think it's like 25% of their first year's salary or something. Well, hell,
Oh,
that for what I pay my guys, that's a
that's a big
very
chunk.
well, yeah, like, okay, that's $25,000. So I really want to spend 25,000, but there aren't people anyway. But there was one guy about 5 or 6 years ago that we did that with. I worked at a different kind of deal with him, the company that gave it to me, and he's worked out. This one guy, and we tried it a couple times, but the only once is it. And they want
Wow.
you to pay everything up front, and they say, yeah, I'll just pay this, and then, oh, but if it doesn't work out, that's okay because you still have credit. We'll just find you another one. Only
I see.
they don't, you see, not because 'cause they're lazy, because they can't find them in the first place. And
Mm,
so, like, that doesn't work. What you have to say is, "Okay, it's $10,000, okay? I'm gonna pay you $500 a week for, 20 weeks,
20 weeks. Yeah.
10 weeks, whatever, 20 weeks." And then, the 3rd week, they're gone. Oh, well, guess what? Like, so is the rest of your money. I'm not gonna pay that either. It's like
Right.
that. So, almost any kind of thing anything you can think of in business that could come up probably has come up in my company. And so, again, I'm not
Sure.
brilliant, I'm just experienced, so
Yeah, 40 years. It's
yeah.
pretty much every like you say, every possible scenario has probably risen up. Um, yeah, love that. So yeah, if you had a plumber and you worked on, I don't know, the toilet, put a sticker on the water heater, right?
Well, you can actually put it on the inside of a toilet tank, come to think
You
about it.
can, yeah, yep. If you, you got the right kind of sticker, right?
Because
Ceramic.
they gotta have a plunger, you gotta take off
Uh-huh.
the top. So I was just thinking out loud, I'm not a plumber, but you could
Wow.
put one on the underside of the top plate.
Should give away plungers, maybe. Give away
Well, oh, yeah,
branded
that would be
plungers.
expensive. I only learned about 5 years ago that there's 2 different kind of plungers, one for sinks and one for toilets.
I didn't even know that.
Really?
I'm
Oh,
still
man.
learning.
Okay, well, here's a tip that makes this entire podcast worth it. Anyone who's listening then. There's a kind of plunger that everyone thinks about. It's just like a little round thing and half
Right.
circle or something, and you go on the drain of a sink. That's one kind, okay? But
Okay.
the kind for a toilet is it's it's more like 3/4 of a ball, and then it's got this like duck, like think of pick a duck lip sticking out even further than that, and you shove the smaller cone into the toilet, and then you start doing this thing, and it creates a vacuum, and it totally works compared to the other kind. So
Interesting. Is
yeah,
the one for the sink the one that, like, collapses? It's,
yeah. Uh-huh.
expandable? I see.
The other one is similar. It's just bigger, and it's got a second kind of like it's longer, and you can stick it into the toilet itself. Yeah.
Crazy. All these years working with plumbers, and I didn't even know that.
Look under, you can Google plungers and, put plungers for
Yeah,
toilets or something.
yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited when I found that out. I got like, 3 bathrooms, I bought one. There's each kind is sitting next to the toilet,
There you go. There you go.
and they come in a little box, the kind
Yeah,
where
yeah, so you can,
yeah,
put it back in without,
right, right.
making the bathroom
It
dirty or
looks
what.
pretty, you don't wanna you
Yeah.
don't see it anymore. You just see the pole sticking up.
Right, right, right. That's
Yeah, I've never had to deal with a clogged drain again. That was the solution.
interesting. I don't think we've had a sink clog, but we certainly have had the toilet clog.
Yeah, so and it probably sometimes worked and sometimes didn't, like, but get
Yeah.
get the right kind and you'll feel the power right away.
I'm gonna definitely check
This
it
is
out.
awesome. Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely check it out. Hey, let's go back to those 2 forms. So you got the mechanics lien, right? Which is just a form they can download online, yes? And then what do they gotta do? Notarize it and file it with the county, or how's that work? Sorry, so contractor doesn't
Yeah,
pay, and now we're gonna
I'm
throw a
trying to it's been that's the funny part. I'm so good on the 0 part of qualifying customers. It's been so many years.
wow,
Let me think. You have to No, you send it out in a way that yeah, you have to send it. You don't need a notary. but you need to send the notice to the owner first of all, the
Oh, okay.
preliminary notice, and it has to be proven that they received it.
I see.
So
Oh,
you can do it with a couple ways through the post office, and
oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
but in the modern times, I haven't looked it up or anything, but maybe you can just email it now. If they open up their email, there's a kind of a record that they opened it up.
There is. Email has been declared legal, I think. We're not lawyers, right?
Yeah, so I don't really, I'm speculating. I have no idea if
I
that's true.
see.
So as long as they get it, okay, and then you can just send other letters and again send it by email and just say, "Hey, remember that little thing that little pesky thing that I said wasn't a legal thing? Well, it is now." Give me that
It's a problem for you now, yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
don't pay that contractor the last payment. You need to pay us, but don't pay me either. Pay both of us at the same time.
Love that,
You
man.
double signatory check. That's what.
Love that. Paid to the order of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many homeowners have been screwed out there by general contractors, collecting the money from the homeowner, not paying the subs, and then the subs got mechanics liens or whatever, and an absolute nightmare. So, what's the advice for the homeowner there? Let's say we're about to do our kitchen, which I actually am soon to do. Um, well, how do you avoid that with the general contractor from the get-go if you're the
So
homeowner?
here's the dirty little secret. The secret is if you don't get a preliminary notice from a subcontractor, they don't have any right to lien your house.
Oh.
So
Is that at the start of the job or that comes later?
it doesn't it doesn't really matter. There's a way it's just way too complex, but there's a thing about it, at least in California, that if it's with an inspection and it hasn't been inspected yet, it's you
Oh,
can delay it. You can have more time because you have to like collect on the lien. You have to like make it. You have to do some paperwork within X amount of days after you finish a job. But
sure.
if you haven't gotten final inspection yet, that's good because you can wait till final inspection. Often that'll give you a couple months with a general contractor because they're not
Oh,
necessarily done with the job yet.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. No, I'll check that out. Maybe I'll write a little newsletter on that once.
There's a lot of ins and outs to this.
I bet. I bet.
But yeah, but just for the level that we're talking about, just get something in writing signed by the homeowner. My advice is never work for general contractors, but that's
Yeah, and that's
I
probably
I don't know.
probably good
Never
advice.
work for general contractor. Never.
Yeah. And right now, the building phase, we're at the peak right here. I would say, I'm speculating here, of course, but probably the end of the real estate market for a little while, several years. And so be careful working for, new construction, contractors, custom homes, all that good stuff. We're probably want to be in service work for the next 5 to 7 years or
It
so.
doesn't hurt. If a general contractor calls you and reaches out to you, this is assuming that you're advertising somewhere, and they say, "Hey, how would you like to work for us?" Man, you gotta how long you been in business, general contractor? "Oh, 20 years. We got a lot, lot, lot." "Oh, really? Okay, so how come you don't have a good plumber?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what happened to the last one and the one before that and the one before that?
Mm,
I'll tell you
mm.
what happened to him. You were a shitty general contractor.
Wow.
That's what that means. So even though I have a whole promotional technique on how to get general contractors, one of like when they finally express an interest, you say, "Oh yeah, listen, can I have a couple of your, I just want to know how to best service you. So, like I'm a plumber, so can I talk to your electrician and your framer and your air conditioning guy? I just want to see
Ah,
how things work." They
I
say,
like it.
"Oh well, they're all new." I say, "Oh, I
Mm,
see. Okay then."
danger.
Yeah.
There goes those flags again. Yellow, orange, red.
It just go directly to black right away, like,
Yeah,
"Warning, you'll
exactly.
drown in this sea," but you can do that with if people are okay with that, that may be some every now and then, it's
That's
not
good
like
advice.
every general contractor is bad, but just
No, no, of
understand that
course not.
every general contractor is extracting more income from the customer than they're paying you for your job.
Right. Good point.
So,
Good point.
just remember that they want a profit from you, and
Yeah,
it's fine. It's really fine. 1 out of 10 general contractors might be fine.
yeah. Yeah,
something
I
like
agree. I agree. I have a client in San Diego. He's 40 years in business like yourself, and he does nothing but work with home builders, custom home builders. So,
that.
so you can make it happen, but you,
Yeah, you just gotta and it's the same with almost anything. Like, if you establish a good relationship with a good company, that's really good in any field, in any if they're general contractor or the property management company. Like,
right?
if you can get the good ones,
Yeah,
then that's a good thing, and they are out there. It's just that
yeah,
you gotta be really careful every time you get a new one. Why? Why?
right.
Or either they keep screwing up and they don't pay their subs or some other problem, they're too incompetent, or
Yeah,
their subs screwed up and overcharged them or did something, and that's
right.
the one you want. You want the
Good
one
point.
that's hardest to get. The
Yeah,
best contractors are the hardest ones to get because
right.
they've got a very faithful crew already. They'd be crazy not to service the hell out of them, right?
Exactly.
But it
Yeah,
can, or they can. Sometimes a general can grow and be bigger than their sub could handle that,
good point.
or a
Yeah,
management company. We get a lot of work like that from
yeah.
management companies that say, "Well, we like so and so, but this is a 50-unit building, and I don't think they can handle that."
Right, right.
So,
Well, I like your advice earlier. I don't recall what chapter, going after referral partners, and you picked better referral partners than well, I don't know, than a general contractor. So apartment builders, or buildings, property managers, so you're not depending on somebody who's billing somebody else, right? Yeah, they are the end customer, really, but they're also a referral partner.
yeah, and if they're good ones, and they can come and go. Like, we were doing Solar City for a long time, like a couple of years, and I think one year we did $1 million with them. Like, we would put in the main electrical services when
Right,
they needed them to handle the load that they were going to have on their solar, which doesn't make sense since solar's supposed to give them power, but it does if you get into it. So
yeah,
the thing is, we did it, made a bunch of money, and then they kind of slowed down, and then they
yeah,
went away. And there's only like I can think of one customer that still uses us from like 40 years ago, but
wow,
hundreds of companies have come and they go. We're like
yeah,
the little engine that could. We just chit, 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 chit. No one pays
right,
attention to us. And there's major companies and they're so big and they're so wonderful. And then not so much anymore. Like, where did that one go? Where did this
right.
one go? What happened there? Like, 40 years is a long time in business.
It
It's a
is.
very long time.
It is. Yeah, more than likely, they're not gonna make it. Yeah, even 10 years. Yeah,
Yeah, even really big established businesses
yep,
can go. But
definitely.
that's not your concern. Whoever's listening to this, your concern is making your little engine go.
Right.
Keep nose to the grindstone and keep doing the basic simple stuff and have a simple life and enjoy it. And eventually, if you follow all the tenets of, I don't know, small business success, you take a little bit of your money every week and put it aside for investments.
Yeah,
Make your money from investments. You don't make it. Even brain surgeons don't really make their money from,
that's
like
right.
a surgeon. They take it and invest it in stuff. That's where they make their money.
Exactly. Real estate, stocks, bonds, etcetera.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a salary is a job.
right.
JOB, just over broke. It doesn't really it's really true. Like,
It is.
whether you're working at McDonald's or you're a surgeon, let's say, working in a hospital, that surgeon is paying a huge mortgage on their house, and, I
Yeah,
mean, this is a typical guy. He's
right,
got a couple of cars, he's got a cabin somewhere in the mountains and stuff,
right.
and unless he's forced to, that person could easily be bankrupt by the time they're all done.
Yeah,
Really, they had a really pretty house till something happened, and then this happened, and then suddenly,
boom.
so, like, you don't want that to be you. You wanna do things differently. Like, just invest, like, take money, even if it's a small amount, and understand that you're making a profit, and take 10% of that profit and invest it,
Yes,
and that's how you'll eventually get wealthy.
exactly. Good advice, my friend. All right, there will be a link in the, next interview is Making the Profit, chapter 13. That's gonna be a beautiful one, because a lot of us all out in the world have troubles, making sure we're making a profit. All right, so links in the, description. $1 Million Contracting, And there'll be 2 links actually, because you have your own link where they can get the book, and then we also have the Amazon link in there. I'm pretty sure both links will be in, either the podcast description or YouTube description. Kim, any, closing words for today's episode?
Yeah. Don't have to be smart. Just be honest and persistent.
Beautiful. I can't think of any better words. On that note, to everybody listening, thanks for listening. Create a great day.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.